2022 Stallion Launch, live from Bendigo. Mark Hughes, hello mate.
Afternoon, Paul. Beautiful day in Bendigo, mate. We always talk about the weather when we kickstart these little events, mate, you know.
The sun was shining until you rocked up. Me and Richo can attest to that. So it was a beautiful day, you know. A little bit overcast, but it still is the middle of winter, although spring is not that far away, mate.
Yeah, look, the countdown's on to the start of the season for all of us in the industry. And I think, you know, it's already started. It sort of starts in, you know, May, June when all the planning takes place and all the little things start to fall into shape. All our 6 boys are in quarantine now in the Northern Hemisphere. And, you know, that's when we really know things are starting to shape up.
We'll hold off on that. We're going to go through that. We've got quite a few announcements, including stallion prices. So that they'll be coming live today once this goes out. So people will get an understanding. But Belinda Richardson, firstly, hello.
Hey.
You got to say more than hey. You can't freeze. There's some chance you reckon she's not going to talk. But one, welcome officially to Woodlands.
Thank you.
She is quite huge. It's going to be a tough sale. You're officially come on board, though, with Woodlands. You've been 18 months, Mark said, but it's going to be a little bit more to the fore this year.
Yeah, I've been contracting for Woodlands for 18 months just to assist on the administration side. This season going forward, I'm going to do a lot more work, a lot more hands-on, and be around to talk to people and process the paperwork that's involved.
And she does talk a lot more when she doesn't have a microphone in front of her. Woodlands, they're a great family though, and we can speak highly of them. Recently all over at the Weanling sales, and it was a lot of fun, wasn't it, over there?
It was a blast. The best time I've had in a long time.
That's what it should be about, isn't it, the industry? I think sometimes people forget how much fun the industry should be.
And it's a good group of people. It was a really nice atmosphere and everyone was looked after. It was really enjoyable, and I recommend anybody that wants to head over for the yearling sales to do so, or the weanling sales next year.
If you go over there, you might even meet Hisham Hashim. You never know. Like the people that we actually met over there was some very random people, wasn't there?
There was, and some great stories.
So, but that's actually what it's about, isn't it, Mark? And I tell people, the Woodlands Weanling sales, or the Weanling sales, NZB, we'll look after those guys. They look after me. It is business, but it is just a unique atmosphere, and it's a unique way to meet people and get a lot of deals done, I suppose, if you like, and a lot of friendships met and made.
Yeah, look, I think so. And obviously the events of the last 2 years, you know, have come to pass a bit, hopefully. And May was the first opportunity for a lot of us Aussies to literally get over there and feel we could actually get there without any pressure and time and the worry of COVID in the background. And mate, it was a really great catch up. We've obviously got the brand new Hilton Hotel on the Karaka complex, so that just adds another layer to it. And you know, like, we had a really great catch up with our New Zealand business, obviously, but a lot of Australians were there as well. And you know, the weanling sale is a key element now in the New Zealand and Australian market in terms of purchasing. So it's next level stuff now.
It is indeed, and I encourage everyone to go there and put it on the calendar for next year. But also they've got yearling sales, which we'll be doing plenty of going forward. We've got a lot to cover today.
Yep.
But this is the 30th year Woodlands have been a part of harness racing in Australia and New Zealand, which has sort of crept up on a few people, I would imagine.
Yeah, look, I think time flies as you're getting older, as they say.
Steady on.
You know, for those of us who are over 40 now. And
that's an in-joke that some people will get, some people won't.
Some people won't. But no, all good. And look, you know, that 30 years has snuck up. A lot of hard yards, a lot of tears. I've been in that business now for over a decade. And the growth here in Australia has been incremental year on year. It's somewhat restrained now by authorities a bit. But, you know, the brand here is strong. The brand in New Zealand is strong, and you know, it's simply a world-class operation.
It is, and we're going to do some things this year to, I suppose, highlight the stud and what it actually can achieve, the people behind it, and everything that it is achieving in harness racing just at the minute. So we've got a few ideas in the pipeworks.
Yep. And
no doubt we'll have a few more going forward as well.
Yeah, look, we will indeed. We want to celebrate the 30 years. It's been a long, hard toil for everybody involved. Stallion making and broodmare acquisitions and selling yearlings and weanlings over the journey is a long, arduous task. Anybody in the industry can attest to that. No matter how much planning goes into it, it can come undone in a heartbeat. But suffice to say, you know, parts of it we believe we've nailed pretty well. But like everything, we review all the time. We look at stuff and believe that when where and when we need to make change.
Yeah, absolutely. Rich, I'm going to take one step back here, but the one thing Woodlands do things differently. It's a brilliant sign that they've got up here. We're actually at Lord's Raceway. We forgot to give the guys a bit of a rap because there's about 100 horses ready to fast work. No, there's not actually, but we're here on the track. But the way they do signs, the way they brand is just brilliant, isn't it?
Oh, it's wonderful. It's a beautiful sign.
There's one of these at Ballarat as well. You can't go quiet. She wants to keep going quiet. Don't worry about that. But there's one at Ballarat, and they stand out. They make a difference, and I think that's what Woodlands are all about, Hughesy.
Yeah, look, I think so, and we nicknamed this originally the Mona Lisa because it did.
That was the Ballarat one. I thought Rousey might get upset with us. We
called
this one the Mona Lisa as well.
No, that's right. Yeah, we did actually Ballarat and Bendigo, the two Mona Lisas for our old mate Sudsy there, the equal fastest horse in the world. But yeah, no, that's part of what we do. We give back. We understand that that's what we have to do in this sport.
No, I was going to say, he is the equal fastest horse in the world. It got equaled again the other day. So it's a terrific mark that only 3 horses have been able to get to. It's going to take some beating to get past it.
Well, everyone's been hovering around that 46 mark. Bulldog Hanover, who went there at the Meadowlands Saturday before last. Always Big Mickey's obviously gone 46. So there's two stallions in Victoria that are the equal fastest stallions in the world, and he'll be back. He'll be back here very, very soon.
In quarantine at the minute, all the boys?
Yeah. No, they're on quarantine in North America. So our understanding is that hopefully American Ideal and Lathrop will be on farm at Caths by about August 15.
And we will discuss that part there too with the association still going ahead with
Yep.
Lower Long Farms.
Yep.
Plus he's also eligible for the Lower Long incentive as well. So we'll get onto that as we go. Rightio, stallion prices. We're going to start off, I suppose, with the trotters if you like. And What the Hill celebrated his first Group 1 winner here in Australia. First winner in Australia. Happened to be a Group 1 winner last Saturday night, wasn't it?
Yeah, Saturday night at Menangle. Aim Big Dream High. One of Robbie and Kerry Morris's. That Success Stud, Jackie bred, that the Morrises race themselves. So he been thereabouts and just put it all together at the right time last Saturday night in the Group 1. So What the Hill launches his Southern Hemisphere crop with his first one to win is a Group 1 winner. So a sensational start. So he will shuttle back. His service fee this year is the same as last year, so $7,700 including GST. There'll be the 20% discount on him, the trotter.
Yep.
So it'll wind back to $6,160 including GST. So he's got runners tonight at Auckland. Looks as though there might be one hard to beat there. But look, there'll start to be a few around, and soldiered on. He's in the top 5 2-year-old size early doors in North America, and he's in the top 10 in the 3-year-olds. That same crop's brought on from last year. Son
of Muscle Hill. We know what the Muscle Hills are doing here, and as you said, what he's already achieving in North America, he's going gangbusters. Hasn't had a lot of winners in Australia. There hasn't been many trots. All you keep seeing on social media is the 2-year-old trots falling over. So
Yep.
you've got to wait to the back end of the season when all these races really start to hot up. But that Group 1 win the other day is key.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And as you say, like it's May, June, July, they're very rarely around the 2-year-old trotters, given the length of the season now and a lot of the better racings at the back end of the year, particularly in Australia.
Yeah, Speeding Spur as well. He'll be standing again this year.
Yeah, he'll be standing again this year. He's returned home, so he will be standing for a one-off fee of $1,100 Australian, including GST. So we'll be shipping him to Australia as well. Oldest crop sold well at the Weanling sale back in May in New Zealand. Globe-trotting horse, won Group 1s in Australia, New Zealand and the United States. We just believe he offers a little bit of a bargain basement price for those wanting to breed at that end of the market. And of course, he was born and bred and raised by us, and we feel he's returned to the right place.
One of the trickier parts too with the trotters at the minute is that the trotters are on their rise as far as racing and winning races and the prize money, but the breeding part has just been held back that little bit. Was seen last year a bit with the sales results and the likes. They are going to continue to increase and going to continue to grow. There's no worries there at all. And a horse like Speeding Spur is just huge value for what he's been able to achieve on the racetrack.
Yeah, look, he made over $1 million. 9 Group 1 wins. One at, we had the courage to send the horse to North America to race. Everybody talks about sending horses to North America down here and what a great job some of these horses would do. But we had the courage to send him. Others talk. We did.
Yep.
And that's been the key to him. Great Southern Star, Victorian Derby, all those sort of things, And, as I say, he's at the right price.
A lot of people say it wasn't a Group 1 race in North America because they don't have Group 1 racing. So that's exactly right. But we're just putting it on the same. It was a high-end race.
Oh, yeah.
It was a top-end race. So
Yep.
there's that part as well.
Yep.
We might go to the Victorians, if you
Yep.
like, now. We might go with Sudsy, as he's more affectionately known. I will say, have you ever actually looked through the pedigree page? It's quite funny to have a look at the whole family. There's some ripping names back in the family of Lather Up, that's for sure.
Well, there is, and rather ironically, he's half-brother by Badlands Hanover, I think, called Shaving Mug, won at the Meadowlands last week.
This is the names. Don't worry about that. There's crew cuts, there's everything. They've got the whole lot going through there.
He's, there's a millionaire in the family called Crew Cut Zach.
That's it.
So he made over $1 million. He's in the second generation of the family. So there's been a lot of thought go into some of the names out of this particular family.
He is. He's a grandson of Better Still Light, being by I'm Gorgeous himself.
Yep.
We were in New Zealand for the weanling sales. You got to see some of those, Richo. They sold through, but they were just lovely types, weren't they?
Oh, ripping types. Really, really nice types. Put together, good conformation, really nice.
And they sold well. I mean, people were keen on them.
Yeah, there was a lot of interest in them, especially from the Australians.
Yeah. And Kath was wrapped when she saw them, and that, I think Mark Barton as well. I think everyone that's seen them were very, very keen on him, which was, stands the test of time of where he's at. I encourage people, because of COVID, and he's been out here, make the point of getting there and getting to have a look at him in the flesh, because he's a ripping horse.
Yeah, I've never seen a stallion let down so quickly off the racetrack to where he is now. Invariably, they take a good, sometimes 3 to 4 years to let down, but Sudsy pretty much let down from year 1 to year 2 when he shuttled back last season. He is a magnificent animal. Everything is in the right place so far as the stallion's concerned, and his fertility is crazy high, which is one of the trademarks of what we want to do. His third year here in Australia now for us, at Lower Long. So he's a one-off service fee this year of $4,400 plus the stallion levy. No discounts on him at $4,400. We discount in the third season. Sweet Lou and Down by the Seaside were discounted similarly. We'll talk about them later and the status both those stallions now hold. I encourage people to get to this horse. We've got a significant number of early bookings. The price is going to be right in a lot of people's wheelhouse. The fact that he's Vic bred as well will be in the wheelhouse. The fact that he's the fastest horse on the planet as well helps. He's a half. His mother's had 10 to the races for 9 winners. It's the Better's Delight in the pocket strain. There is a lot to like about this horse. And our intel from North America, early doors, is that they love them. We know he stands in Ohio, where Seaside and What the Hill are, and his progeny up there will race for serious coin going forward. So that's the greatness of having a shuttle horse, is the amount of money they can race for. I love the fact that when people come to me, I say, oh, listen, our horses are winning in Pennsylvania, they're winning at Woodbine, they're winning at Gloucester Park, they're winning at Addington, they're winning at Auckland, they're winning at Melton. With a regional-based sire, you're just winning where you're winning. But our horses have got a massive global perspective, and that's one of the joys of having a shuttle horse.
And I think anyone that's thinking about going to contact the Kiwis, especially anyone that went to that weanling sale, they'll actually speak highly to him. Shimmy back half a stride this way for me, mate. You're almost out of the question. He'll stand this year for?
He's $4,400, GST inclusive. That's a flat fee all year, and plus the stallion levy. We'll pontificate about that down the track, but we are passing that on amongst all our stallions. We've gone on the record as of 18 months ago that will be the case. And that's the unfortunate consequence of where we're at right now in this industry.
Yep, and we might talk about that later on, or we might not. We might keep it for another day. Who knows where we go there. Yep. He also, though, Lower Long Farms has got the $100,000 bonus. He is one of the stallions that is eligible through Lower Long Farms, which is a great association. Woodlands and Lower Long Farms have been able to have, and basically you go to him, you pay nothing extra. Win the Vic bred 2-year-olds either as a trotter, as a pacing colt or a filly, and it will be $100,000 bonus on top of that, which is terrific to encourage people to go to him.
Yeah, it is. It's a great incentive that Kath has put together over the journey. I know it had been a work in progress for a number of months, and it's come to pass. It's just another opportunity to go to him to get the endorsement of possibly racing in a Vic bred final and getting the bonus, or buying one at the sales with that little incentive attached to it. It's a great idea, and we take our hat off to what Kath has been able to put together regarding that for him.
Stay with Lower Long Farms. AI, as he's more affectionately known, or American Ideal, because it does get a little bit confusing, especially in the harness racing world. He's returning. He is just doing a massive job. Headed last weekend by 888. I mean, he just does a great job. 888 just continues to get better and better.
Yeah, look, it's no secret that the horse is a genuine rock star. He's 20 years old. Year on year, he keeps dishing out 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds, open class horses. 2 tracker winning records this week in North America in their 2-year-old size stakes at Yonkers, and at I think it was Buffalo in the last 24 hours. May have been somewhere else. Fillies, colts, open class horses. There are very few stallions in the last 20 years that have left a New Zealand Cup winner, a Hunter Cup winner, a Fremantle Pacing Cup winner, and a WA Pacing Cup winner. He's one of them. The other one's probably Better's Delight. The other horses in that stratosphere that we talk about haven't been able to do that.
Yeah.
And year on year, he's just a grouse animal, mate.
I was going to say that, Richo, when you pull up there, like to collect he's a fun little horse, though, isn't he? Like, I mean, he knows your car too, which if anyone's seen Richo's car, they'll know why. You're not allowed to take another step out either. But he is, you wouldn't, when Hughesy says that he's 20, he's not 20 when you pull up, is he?
Oh, he certainly doesn't look 20. He looks like a 10-year-old horse.
He's such a fun horse. I've been there and seen, he has a bit of a love-hate relationship with a couple of the boys when they're going into the shed, and he just carries on. He's a fun little bloke to be around.
He's always the first one at the fence. I pull up to grab the semen boxes, and he's always there to check out what I'm doing and sort of wander on. He's quite happy, very content where he is, and he looks $1 million.
He does indeed. What will he stand for, Hughesy, this year?
So his price this year is $12,100, including GST. He's edging towards a full book, so plus the levy. But he warrants that. He is one of the best stallions in the world, close to a $50,000 average on breeds in Australia.
Yep.
75% winners to runners in Australia. That's an insane stat.
Yeah.
Insane. He's literally a guaranteed ticket to the winning post here, mate.
Yeah.
Year on year, 7 or 8 sons at start. Year on year, just keeps getting it done. And the reality with him is he'll serve close to a full book, and the rules around supply and demand are that we have lack of supply now on 150 limit, and our demand exceeds what we can supply. So unfortunately, prices go up.
And he's almost closed.
It's almost closed, yeah. He's in the 130 plus at the moment, but you've also got to remember we have to factor in free returns there. So I would say to you, he'll probably be done and dusted by the end of July, early August. We took another 10 or 15 bookings to him this week, just out of the blue. Some of the breeders have awoken from their slumber. And another key ingredient to him, 3 yearlings at the sales last year, close to 150 grand in Australia. He's a rock star.
Yep. No, he is, and he's a ripper. 888 wins a black to fake. People will be ringing, they'll be knocking the door down, they'll be saying we want to get in.
And one of the other things with him, he stands here, obviously he's Vic bred, and this is his 4th year that he's returned to Victoria, and we acknowledge that the Australians, they love the horse.
The other kicker with him too, though, sometimes you want a colt or you want a filly out of certain stands. You don't care what you get out of him. You nearly rub your hands together when you get a filly, because you get a triple whammy. Quality mare that will only get better as a racehorse, and then you've got a brood mare. Yep,
that's it. And look, he's starting to make a name for himself as a brood mare sire. He was a brood mare sire, the Victorian Derby winner last year. Yeah.
Woodlands, hang their hat on for many a time, but he returns again this year, the champ, the king as he's more affectionately called. Hughesy wasn't sure where I was going with that. He thought I was actually going to give himself a rap there, but Better's Delight, Evergreen. We don't really have to say too much for Betters. I mean, what he's been able to achieve, there are a few little stats that I do know about him that are pretty amazing, really.
So, yeah, look, the King returns from Ontario in the middle of August at the tender age of 24. 17th trip down under. Just sits up there in first class all the way down.
Does he load himself? Does he tell the boys how to do it?
Which he's fully entitled to. Gets on the mum champagne on the way down. Look, there are words for him, but there are also no words. We understand that he is the greatest sire there's ever been. As the clock ticks on him, we know that this may well be his last year that he comes. We understand that. We've planned for that. We also acknowledge now that he's won close to 425 million, right, in prize money.
So just again, how much?
425 million. 85% winners to runners in Australia, right? So you talk about American Ideal being a guaranteed ticket. Well, Bettor's Delight's probably is a ticket in the lottery to get a photo on the wall at the racetrack. Year on year, he's the all-age sire again. He'll win that here for the next, X amount of years. He's the current leading 3-year-old sire in Australia this season again. Over 600,000 in front of the next sire on similar sort of horses to the races. Yeah, there are no words for him. He just keeps on rolling. He'll be a great broodmare sire. But we believe we've got adequate replacements for him going forward. But we also understand that there will never be another one of him.
No, there won't be. Where's his book at, Richo? How far? How's he travelling?
He's getting close to 100, so.
Which is just terrific, isn't it? That's amazing, but just great for the breeding scene to get so many of him getting out there.
Especially with his age, it doesn't deter anyone. He just keeps backing up year after year. So.
He does indeed, and he's a good dude. I'm hopefully going to be able to see him. I've never actually seen him in the flesh, but hopefully be able to get over there and actually see him. So
yep.
He's an excitement machine. We did do his service fee, did we not?
No, we didn't.
No, I didn't think. I wasn't sure. That's how good I'm going with this.
No, it's all good. It's all good. So he's the same as last year. He's 27.5, including GST. Now there'll be a season-long discount on him of 10%. There will also be an early bird fee on him. If people will be talking to people in the coming weeks, there will be an early bird fee on him. Payable will be by October 1, September 30. That will reduce that discount a little bit more. Obviously, the stallion levy will be on top of that as well.
Yep.
So for him, I know he's top end and he's top scale, but no thoroughbred in the world, sire-wise, has made more money than him. So we are, the reality, if Bettor's Delight was a thoroughbred sire, he'd be $300,000-$400,000 a roll.
Yep.
So at 27.5 less a discount, he's cheap.
And he is indeed. He's and he just, as you said, just keeps winning races. We don't have to run off the horses because they just keep coming out of everywhere. Rightio. A lot of people probably watching this, waiting, wanting to know one where they're at as far as bookings and numbers, and as well as that as with prices going forward. We'll start off with Seaside One. Yep. He's definitely returning. He's in quarantine, ready to come back to New Zealand on the next flight.
No, he's shipped into quarantine with Lou and all the others. They will be inbound to New Zealand in August, early. Looks like we'll be shipping round about the end of the first week in September, give or take. Stay tuned for all that information. Seaside will return here. His service fee will be $11,000, including GST, plus the levy, no discount. As I said before, supply and demand are now at play with him and Sweet Lou in a massive way. Down by the Seaside has 70 on his waiting list, it is July 15th.
Yep.
I have people calling me wanting to jump the queue and pay to go to him, and the same rules are applying to Sweet Lou. Seaside's had 6 to the races here for 3 winners. He'll probably get his first winner in New Zealand on Sunday at Addington. There aren't a lot of them. There weren't a lot of Sweet Lou's early either. We know how that's turned out. Seaside's numbers are North America are very comparable to where Treacherous was with his 2 and 3-year-olds.
Yep.
He is the leading 3-year-old sire in North America. He's made 2.2 already. He's $500,000 in front of Treacherous. American Ideal third. I think Lou's 4th. Mickey's 5th. There's that upper echelon. He is second on the 2-year-old size list in North America behind American Ideal. So we understand supply and demand means that, we will fill his book adequately and comfortably.
Yep.
And our understanding is that when he returns to North America, his price will be jettisoned again to around $20,000.
Wow. $20,000 when he goes back to America.
Yeah, when he goes back. And you've got to understand, he's come off Ohio where he's got some nice mares.
Yep.
But the better mares aren't in Ohio. The other thing about Ohio now, and I'll point this out to everybody that doesn't necessarily understand what goes on up there, but the big stables now go to Ohio to buy at their yearling sales because they understand Seaside, not Lou's in Pennsylvania. Seaside, What the Hill, Lather Up, Fear the Dragon. There are some serious animals there now.
Yep.
And serious racing, seriously good money. And that floats through down here. So, look, Rocky's Rocky, and scarily, and this is something that people need to digest about him as well, that last year he was ill, but he came right. If we'd started him in the first week of September last year, right?
I love this stat.
And he bred his mares in that time. He started after the middle of October. He literally, his fertility is unbelievable. He probably would be done by, last year would have been done, this year he would be done by Melbourne Cup time.
Yeah, November, which is scary.
It's very scary, and that's one of the things we trade on is like we have highly fertile, young, healthy stallions and old healthy stallions.
Yep, retired sound.
Yeah, retired sound,
yep.
mate, all these horses. And that's a lot of the keys to what we do.
Yeah, definitely. And the Sunbeach Somewhere footprint that he is putting on racing, you said there before about treacherous, that is another key for Seaside, because, I mean, he's just doing it. The match, they work so well here in Australia. They'll work well in New Zealand because New Zealand racing is evolving and is changing, and it's just going to be, he's just a super exciting horse.
He is, and look, there's no doubt about that Sunbeach Somewhere line and the Mach 3 Sunbeach line's domination on the stallion side. There is a lot of Sunbeach and Suns at stud all of a sudden.
Only a small draft of stallions, if you like, but a quality draft. Last bloke, he's turning plenty of heads. I actually heard a race call the other day at Menangle, and the comment was, why wouldn't he win? He's by Sweet Lou. They win everything. Sweet Lou's coming back. A horse you've been keen on, Hughesy, for as long as you and I have been working together, I reckon.
Yeah, look, was in love with Lou from the get-go.
Yeah, I'd say that.
And I don't shy away from that. I am over the moon for where he's at down here, because it was bloody hard work to get numbers to him early.
Yep.
And now it's like I've said this to people, and I might be getting one step ahead of myself. I believe he's our next American Ideal. 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds, cup class horses here and in North America. 26 individual 2-year-old winners at the middle of July. I
was going to say that. It's the 15th of July, and he's had 26 individual. That's not all of his 2-year-old winners. They are individual 2-year-old winners so far.
Yep.
The good races are about to start, and the bulk of the racing's about to start as well, not just the good races.
Yeah, look, a lot of there'll be stuff at the back end, but Lou's numbers, if you sit down and do the data on a stallion, are insane.
Yep.
Winners to runners, percentages, all that sort of stuff. He's got a big crop this year on one following as well, but Lou is now guaranteed a lot of the best mares in Australia and New Zealand.
He'll be standing for?
He's 10,000 including GST plus the levy.
Plus the levy on top?
Yep, he's another one with a full book, and I'm sure Belinda can bring us up to date with his wait list.
Close to 60.
Say it again with a little bit louder, come on.
His wait list is nearing 60.
It is unreal. You jumped out of the camera, Smarty Pants just said. She doesn't like the microphone too much. That is amazing. I mean, and it's probably a little bit frustrating for a lot of breeders out there that want to, I suppose, improve their breed. We must say, with these two horses being fully booked, in New Zealand there's no limit, so they're not fully booked in New Zealand. A lot of New Zealanders will be watching this. These are Australian prices standing here in Australia, but of course the Kiwis have the upper hand. Think about the yearling sales in a few years' time. That's what I'd be telling the Kiwis.
Yeah, look, the Kiwis books are not restricted. No restraint there on what you can do over there. So your opportunity to get to some of these great horses out of great mares exists over there as well. That's the dual purpose of the market that we exist in.
Yep.
So, yeah. And Lou is, people have come to me in the last year and apologised to me about him. A lot of people thought he wouldn't make it. But I've shook their hand and accepted their apology. Like, we all rise and fall on what we think about stallions and opinions and that sort of thing, but he's had cut through. He was the outcross we needed down here, and he's providing that now.
Do you find it hard, Richo, telling people that, sorry, he's booked, and they say go on the waiting list, and you go, well, yeah. Do you find that a bit frustrating?
I find it disappointing because it's not fair for the breeders. They're the ones that are punished, and people aren't organised early enough. They now miss out where you've never had to do this, and now you have to think about 2 years ahead of what you want to do, whether you want to breed to the horse or not. It makes it such a difficult job for ourselves and for the stallion owners who invest in our country by allowing the horses to come here. They're punished as well, so it's clearly not fair.
It's also a tricky one for people wanting to get into the industry. They came in, they hear that race call the other day, they go, right, well, I'm going to go to Sweet Lou. They ring you guys and say, sorry, you're going to have to wait till halfway through 2024.
And then you've got to try and buy one. So if you can't breed one, you've got to buy one. So you need to go to New Zealand, basically.
They weren't even that easy to buy over there.
There were some nice types, really nice types.
There was, and there was a nice Queensland gentleman over there that is really, really keen on him, and he's almost as bad as Hughesy, I'd say.
Yes, he bought well over there.
He did indeed. So that's a bit of well, that is the prices, Hughesy. We'll go through them very, very quickly. What the hill?
7.7 including GST, 20% off.
Speeding spurt.
1100 GST inclusive, flat fee.
Lather up.
4400 GST inclusive, flat fee all year plus levy.
American Ideal.
12,100 including GST plus levy.
Bettor's Delight.
27.5 including GST plus the levy, but there will be 10% off all season, and there will be an early bird on him. We'll talk to people that are booked to him going forward in the next couple of weeks about that.
And it is down by the seaside. We all just call him Seaside, but it is actually down by the seaside. And Sweet Lou, both books are full, but...
Yeah, look, so Lou, 10 including GST plus the levy, no discount. Seaside, 11 grand including GST plus the levy, no discount. As I said, 70 on Seaside's wait list, and Belinda just told me there's 60 around 60 on Lou's.
Yep. So,
as we said before, supply and demand.
Absolutely. That's a wrap of the stallions.
Yep.
The stallion levy, and that's frustrating you guys a little bit, and a few other breeders as well. I suppose, especially nothing's really been put out 100%, and we are, 15th of July?
Oh, look, there's a lot of... it's a bit of a, I won't use the adjective that would describe what's been cast upon the industry. As I said before, we've advised everybody more than truly 18 months ago we will be passing it on. We can't wear this. And it's the unfortunate consequence of some decision-making processes that we fail to understand.
Yeah. And then also the limitations on stallion books as well.
Well, look, they've limited our books. Now they're putting levy on shuttle and frozen semen horses.
Yeah.
It's from the outside looking in, you can see what direction they're pushing us towards. And
what I just said to Richo just then was that basically someone comes into the sport, says, rightio, I want to get a Seaside, want to get a Sweet Lou, and no, you can't get one. The only way you can get one is if you're lucky enough at the yearling sales.
And that's right. Not all these costs will flow on down the track at a yearling sale. We understand now that some commercial breeders are now budgeting for and wanting an extra 30 or 50k this particular breeding season going forward. Some will be more.
Yep.
And that's in money industry people have to find to buy.
Yeah, which is scary. 30 years in the industry though, not going anywhere in a hurry either.
No, look, I think we sat down a while ago and had a chat that we're, they hang around for a while yet. Look, we're the only main farm now in New Zealand shipping to Australia. So we believe that we're going to, we'll have a big say going forward about what we can still do here. Our relationship at Lowalong's very strong, survived the chaos of the last 2 years of COVID and all its challenges that it threw at us in the breeding sector. So yeah, no, look, we're here to say we look forward to this season. It'll have more challenges as we always expect. Wouldn't be the same without them. And we just look forward to giving Australians, opportunity to the best stallions on the planet.
Absolutely. I haven't used that word much today. It's one of my words I go to a lot. It just annoys me sometimes. We also, Lower Long Farms, the association there as well, like I said, he's eligible for the $100,000 bonus if he can win the Vic Bred this breed this year.
Yep.
And if that foal can win the Vic Bred final, either a colt or a filly, $100,000. If you send 2 to him, you can win both. You can get $200,000, which is great.
Yep.
September 4, CAF's having an open day stallion parade. Won't be live streamed. I won't be live streaming it, but you and I will both be there, plus a few other people. John Coffey, I think Dan Malecki's going to be there as well. It's going to be a lot of fun, but also showcasing all of our stallions. These 2 boys are well and truly going to be there, front and centre.
Yeah, look, we'll be there. It's no show without punch, obviously. And
apparently we've got to be a bit regimented. Apparently we've got to follow a script, is what she's telling me. Good luck with that.
Well, there'll be that'll get thrown in the bin when that email comes. Actually, delete. Look, we're looking forward to that. I know that Cats obviously wanted to do this hiking back to pre-COVID.
Yep.
So it's been postponed. So. Look, I know we'll be there. Our boys will be there. Obviously, the American Ideal's he's the king of the jungle there. So it'll be great to be part of. I encourage people to get there. There'll be some very good horses on show. Just a chance for breeders and people to actually reconnect again all of a sudden, which is what we want to do. We understand it's Father's Day. There's never a good time for these sort of things, but the horses will start shipping the week after. So. Yeah, well, we look forward to it. One thing I'll say about that day, Cat has very expensive taste where champagne's concerned. So I would expect that the Morm and the $150 French champagne bottles will be rolled out at that. We better not be on the $5 Spew Manny. I'll look forward to that challenge on her behalf.
Do you think Hisham might make his way across from New Zealand or not?
He could be there. Be very interesting as well. And I'm also being advised there'll be a very big supply of oysters, especially for me, for the ones I missed out on in New Zealand when you all did the dirty on me with the oysters. So
hey! I was at another dinner for that one. I was out of that. Remember?
I've filed a note on a few situations while we're all away together, and I'll be playing them forward.
But the relationships as well. I know Cambrai is going to be out from NZB, so it's building more relationships. Paul and Mary are going to be coming out as well. Yep. So it will be about the stallions. It's going to be that. It's going to be a lot of fun, Richo. That's one of the things that it will be, especially afterwards, I would imagine. We have to keep mum about a few things that may have happened. That's why I encourage people to make their way over to the Weanling sale, because it is just a lot of fun.
Well, there's that. And look, this is the quietest I've ever heard Richo in about the decade I've known her. Very shy on camera. I just thought of, mate, as soon as we turn this on, it's like I'm very worried about the walk back to the car.
But she is an integral part of Woodlands, and we want people to realise. And the reason she's here is not to make you and I look good. That part for sure. She's not for the car either. No, people will be dealing with Richo for Belinda. Sorry, I keep calling you Richo. I apologise for that. For a lot of the dealings this year as well, because it is becoming very, very busy and a very big business, Woodlands Stud here in Australia. Yeah,
look, it's grown a lot, and it is what it is now. So there's a lot of pieces of the puzzle to get what we get done. So Belinda's a major part of that now. I'd be lost without her the last 18 months. Does a great job all round, very reliable, knows the industry backwards as well, knows all the good guys and the bad ones. Why
do you look at me like that for?
And just reliable and hard working, mate. So, and that's why we surround ourselves with the right people. That's why we're at Cath's. That's why we're working with you. That's why I'm working with her. That's what we do.
The you part was a bit of a worry, but that's okay. Hughesy, Belinda, thank you very much. To get in touch with you guys, Hughesy, best way?
Oh, look, just email or 0451 650 707. My phone's on. It'll be rocking and rolling as it does all the time. So I'm happy to take anyone's questions or queries and work through stuff with them as we head into the season as per usual. The New Zealand site is woodlandstud.co.nz. Put all the W's in front of that, but .co.nz at the end of it as well is the New Zealand site. But of course, that'll have your numbers on it as well to be able to get in touch with you guys. Yeah, it does. All the information will be there. The stallion pricing will be up there later today on Facebook for people to digest. We actually settled on our yearling sale list for February next year a couple of weeks ago. So there's 39 there. They won't be up yet, but that's how much planning's got to take place, you know. So it's all hands to the wheel, mate, and yeah, we look forward to it.
Very good. Mark, Belinda, thank you guys.
Thanks, mate.
Thank you.